Gamers, fevers, lurkers, grab your snacks. The underdog, the legend in his own mind. Jaybeazt, dropping memes and bringing heat. Jaybeazt, stream is starting, pull up a seat. Breaking news, trailers dropped. I react and maybe sound a bit shocked. New game hype, I got the tea. Call of Duty, Battlefield, come watch me. Not a big shot, just starting out, but I'll hype your chat and hype my clout. My aim's kinda bad, my joke's kinda worse, but at least I never stream with rehearse. Jaybeazt, underdog with gamer streak. Jaybeazt, laughs, reacts, chaos you seek. Warning. Jaybeazt, you may mispronounce your favorite game. Please remain calm. Chat's alive, memes flying fast. I may fail, but it's always a blast. Subscriber hype, not just some friends, but the fun and chaos never ends. Reacting, chatting, sometimes I play, even if I die in the first 5 minutes. Hey, new game breakdown, I'll nerd out loud, making jokes, looking goofy, maybe proud. Jaybeazt, underdog, but bringing fire. Jaybeazt, love by beats, memes and satire. Who's in chat? Beast back. What's the game? Total snack. Level up? Maybe not yet, but we laugh, we hype, you won't forget. Achievements, sure, but I miss a lot. Glitches, bugs, rage quits I've caught, but while the pros are flexing loot, I'm here, underdog with style and cute. Streaming news, trailers, reactions too. Sometimes I even know what I'm doing, kinda true. Chat laughs, memes fly, and everyone's hyped. Welcome to Jaybeazt, the underdog is live tonight. Jaybeazt, underdog, chaotic streak. Jaybeazt, gaming news, laughs, you seek. Not a pro, but never weak. Gosh, Jaybeazt may mispronounce your famous pronouncing game, or make you laugh uncontrollably. Stream starting now. The fifth out.
What's up, everybody? We are finally back again, and it's actually the Christmas Eve, so a lot of you probably not even gonna tune in, and that's okay. But yeah, it's almost the end of the year already. I cannot believe that 2025 is already over. It feels kind of weird to even say that, because it feels like we had such a slow start to the year, and then it just went by so quick the second half. I got my latte. Have a sip. We're ready to go. But yeah, it's already the Christmas Eve here in down here in Melbourne, actually. So if you are tuning in from any other part of the world, this might be a little too early for you, but it's 7:30 p.m. here in Melbourne, and we are getting ready to celebrate Christmas. We're probably going to be, yeah. Uh, my missus is actually working right now, but I'm going to be picking her up soon, and then we're probably going to be heading out to see some Christmas lights tonight. Tomorrow, we'll be celebrating Christmas, and that will be fun. But yeah, I think this will be the last stream that we have. Actually, you know what? No, I'm planning to do another one on Saturday. The Saturday one will probably be the last stream that we're gonna do. 27th of December. That will be the last one that I'll do for the year. And like we gotta do best games of the year and the most anticipated games of the next year. That kind of take. So I really want to talk about that in my next stream. And if you guys have any candidates, please let me know. Drop down in the comments or whatever. Just let me know. And then yeah, we'll talk about that stuff. So I'll be talking about that stuff in my last stream, and we'll make it a fun one. But today this will probably be a short one too, because as the end of the year coming, everything's kind of wrapping up, and there's nothing much to really talk about. You know, uh, so it'll be a quick one. Speaking of news, though, we got some sad news that we had to hear yesterday about um, Vince Zampella passing away, which is very, very sad to hear. The dude has been a total legend in the industry, in my opinion. I mean, in many others' opinion as well. And I feel like for the past few decades, he's managed to save the entire genre of first-person shooter games. Starting with like Medal of Honor. Back when I was a wee little boy, I was playing Medal of Honor and I was loving it. People, Medal of Honor was the real deal, bro. Like that was back in the day. Medal of Honor was like the Call of Duty back then. If you don't know about any of it, because like we didn't have anything to compare to Medal of Honor, and then uh, yo, what's up? What's up, Ali in the house, man? And yeah, dude made Medal of Honor in house, and then went on to create Infinity Ward, as you probably heard, and ended up making Medal of Honor Kill. That was literally the code name he had for Call of Duty when he was working on it. And then he made Call of Duty and literally did kill Medal of Honor. Um, I ate, got my. Oh man, you're still on that dirty collar, bro? Okay, all right. I'm having my latte as usual. I got my latte. Yeah, let's go after the rip. Okay, yeah, yeah. But I still have a few things to talk about, so we'll get through that quickly. Um, I still haven't gone to Hungry Jack's, bro. Didn't get around to it, but I will. I will. As I was saying, he then went on to create Call of Duty, which effectively ended Medal of Honor games, and then he got fired from Activision, which is awesome. And then he said, "Okay, whatever, mate. If you don't want me, that's fine." And then he created his own studio, which is called Respawn, ironically. And then he went on to make Titanfall, which also ended up becoming awesome games, especially Titanfall 2. The campaign of Titanfall 2 still considered to be one of the best campaigns, or like first-person shooter campaigns ever, and like kind of the type of campaign that Call of Duty never had, which is awesome. Um, yeah, man, I gotta pick up Shiny at 10. But yeah, I'll be finishing this up and I'll join you for an hour and then come back and play more. So we got it, we got it. Um, and then yeah, he and then created Apex Legends, which is set in the Titanfall universe, which is awesome. And then he created the whole Star Wars Jedi games, again awesome games. And then he was made Dice Head, which is renamed Ripple Effect, because EA wanted to say Battlefield, and then he made Battlefield 6, which also turned out to be awesome. So all right, man, I'll catch you later. Enjoy. um but yeah, it's crazy. He had a crazy career. I don't know, like, I think very few people in the gaming industry have an awesome, insane careers like that. And he was one of the legends. He was undoubtedly one of the legends. And I think he's one of the few people uh, in the industry that you can call that. And he always made sure that his passion is put into the games, and he worked really hard on those, and it's evident with games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare games and all that. For every single first person shooter that he touched went on to become a massive success. So the fact that he's gone from us so soon, it really makes me real sad. I mean, at such a special time of the year too. So I can't even begin to comprehend how his poor family must be feeling right now. Like it's just a couple of days before Christmas, the end of the year, and he just launched Battlefield 6, which was taken off for the first time in history. Battlefield actually outsold Call of Duty, so it's performing really well. Again, it's so weird. Call of Duty was also his baby. So is Battlefield. He had his hands on everything, and yeah, and after all this time to have him gone so soon, it's such a weird feeling, and I don't even know like the future of like what the future of Battlefield 6 is going to be, and now ripple effect dies. Battlefield Studios is now missing a head as well, and probably the best talent the company had. It's now gone, so I don't know which direction the Battlefield 6 will take because of this. It's very unsure. Everything is kind of up in the air now. So it makes you think like how fragile life really is. So yeah. Anyway, just remembering Vince Zampella and the awesome stuff he did, and he's obviously going to be irrepressible in the gaming industry, especially when it comes to first-person shooters. So yeah, we just lost an awesome, legendary figure in the gaming industry so soon. Uh, will we recover? I don't know, dude. I don't know, but we just have to wait and see. I suppose. Wait and see. Uh, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. I just wanted to say a few words in his honor before we moved on because it really is a massive tragedy to end the year in, and we just had to say something about that. Moving on. This is something that I haven't talked about. The fact that Expedition 33 had the Indie Game Awards nomination and the awards that they received revoked because of the due to generative AI usage, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. We just had the Indie Game Awards show happen a couple of days ago, and they won a few awards, including I reckon it was the Game of the Year as well. They took home the Game of the Year and the debut game from the Indie Games Awards, but they were nominated. I saw the nomination. I saw the award winners and everything. I was like, yeah, cool. Expected. Expedition 33. They took home everything. It would be weird if they didn't take home the Indie Game Awards because it's an indie game, and however, things have now changed, and they made a big decision to strip the Clair Obscur and develop a Sandful Interactive of their awards over the use of generative AI in the game. They made an announcement here. Where is it? Where is it? I'm trying to think. Oh, there was a statement here. Give me a second while I find it. Game eligibility. I can't find. Did they put something in here? Pinned. I can't find the statement here. Hang on, guys. Sorry about that. think it might be on Twitter, maybe. I think I spotted that. I had it open. I got rid of it, unfortunately, accidentally. Indie. Okay. Indie game awards. The Indie Game Awards. Here we go. Yeah, I can't find it, but I'll just read through the article because I've got the snippets from the article. Anyway, moving on. So essentially, they have announced this Saturday. They said the removal comes after the discovery after voting was done and the show was recorded. The Indie Game Awards have had a hard stance on. Here you go. This is what it says here. You guys can see this? Yeah. So the Indie Game Awards have had a hard stance on the use of generative AI through the nomination process and during the ceremony itself, the statement reads. When it was submitted for consideration, representatives of Sandful Interactive agreed that no Gen AI was used in the development of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. In light of Sandful Interactive confirming the use of Gen AI on the day of the Indie Game Awards 2025 premiere, this does disqualify Clair Obscur from its nomination. 6-1 Indie ended by thanking the community for being patient and providing feedback on the situation. The organizational team behind the ceremony is a small crew with big ambitions, and the Indie Game Awards can only grow with your help and support. We already can't wait for 2026 ceremony. So that's what it says. Now, with the disqualification of Clair Obscur, the awards will go to the runner-ups. This means the awards for debut game goes to Sorry We Are Closed, while the game of the year now goes to Blueprints. So, okay. When you dig further into this whole situation, you understand the generative AI that was used in Clair Obscur was during the development. They used some generative AI textures as placeholders during the development, which were later patched. Okay, so that the AI use was basically was done to the extent of using as placeholder textures, not to be used in the final game. So as the final game rolled out, they did patch those out and they were taken out, so they are no longer in use. So yeah, so I don't know, man. I think we have passed the point where we can expect zero use of AI in games. To be clear, AI has been in use of games in various different contexts for as long as I can remember. Like starting with NPCs, you have AI, but it's a different type of AI. It's not the same, generative AI that we come to know now. It's very much still in the code, but hey, play buddy, welcome to the stream. How are you, my man? Hello from Sri Lanka, man. Sri Lanka represent, bro. But yeah, it's generative AI is very different to the NPC AI that we come to expect from games. It is, it's a very it effectively works in a very different way. I can't comment further than that because I'm not like a tech savvy guy. Obviously, I'm a gamer, but I don't know how to code. But what I'm saying here is, ever since this generative AI has come into place, we've gone past the point where we can, expect zero use of Gen AI in games now. And if it makes the development process efficient, developers are obviously going to use generative AI where it's applicable. If it helps them to, make faster progress with their development. And that's, to me, is what it seems like Clair Obscur devs, Sandfall devs did with the game. All they have done is use generative AI in as placeholder textures in the game while they were developing the game, and kind of makes sense. This is a small indie team, and they had Gen AI available to use, so they just used that during development. But the intention wasn't to use that in the final game; they were just placeholders. So the final game didn't have that. They patched it out eventually. So I just don't get, you know, what the big deal was, because we still have like bad AI slop coming into making their way into Steam Store and PlayStation Store already, which is like really crap. But then you have Clair Obscur, which is a great game, had a very minimal use of AI, but disqualified because they just happen to have used some placeholder textures developed by Gen AI. Makes, yeah, I think I I feel like it might have been a bit of an overreaction from the Indie Game Awards part, because I guess what happened was when Clair Obscur released, it was the underdog, right? It was really the underdog. It was a new studio. There were ex Ubisoft devs trying to make a game that they couldn't make back at Ubisoft, and now they all of a sudden they got this great game that plays really well, that's novel and has original concepts and had a bit of a JRPG take twist on it, but it's a Western studio. So all these things were going for them, and it looked like a triple A budget game, but even though it's an indie game, so all these things were going for them, and it was a pretty small team as well. So it was kind of the underdog, and it was kind of cool to like the game too. Everyone was praising the game, and it was kind of cool to play it, cool to talk about it. It was the cool underdog that everybody rooted for, and then they won every freaking award on the planet there is, because they won joysticks awards, they won game awards 2025, and they also took home awards from the indie game. So they won so many awards, and they became mainstream because of that. And now all of a sudden people got nitpicking the game, and this is what happens when you get mainstream. Like every time if the underdog became mainstream, you got people started, heading spreading hate, and that's not a new thing. And that's kind of what I feel like happened to Expedition 33 as well, with all these people coming and just hating on the game now, and it's easy to nitpick because it's now mainstream, and Sandfall is no longer seen as the underdog with all the snatching all the awards anymore. And even though this is a minor thing, they're not gonna get a pass anymore because of that. I think that's essentially what happened, which is unfortunate. I think moving forward, we're going to see developers using generative AI in this capacity, at least, like using them as a texture placeholders during development, and even some of it making into the final product. But I think because of this incident, developers will be careful how much information they expose to the public, because how wrongly people twist it out of context due to incidents like this. Because I think it's just unfair, because we all use AI now. Even like every single company, at least here in Australia, we kind of some of the companies kind of like forcing AI into their day-to-day stuff, and you can't really get out of it anymore. It's kind of like what was it? It's kind of like the invention of the smartphone. You can't go back anymore. It's a milestone. When smartphone was invented, it was a milestone, and you just can't go back on it. The smartphone has become so integral to our daily life. I think the same effect is happening with AI now. Now that AI is a thing, it's becoming more and more integrated and sneaking into every aspect of our life, and trying to deny that and try to run away from it is going to be a mistake, and we're just going to have to deal with it and learn to deal with it, I think. So anyway, I just thought I'll talk about that a little bit because it just feels so weird that after winning so many awards, the Indie Awards show feels so strongly about such a minor thing, about such a great game. They just felt like they had to take a hard stand on Gen AI, um, just on Clair Obscur. Had it been another game, I don't know whether it would they would have the same level of a hard stance. That's my take at least. This is my opinion. If you have a different opinion, that's totally fine. Um, but yeah, that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, or if you're watching this later on YouTube, or if you're lurking, just drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. I would love to know what you think. Anyway, speaking of AI, I still have a lot more AI stuff to talk about because it's been kind of AI drama all around last week. I feel like I've heard so many AI news popping up pretty much everywhere. And like I mentioned, Blueprints now won the Game of the Year because, Claire Game of the Year from Indie Awards because Claire Obscur lost it. And they have come out and said that they are not using AI. You know, they they're very clearly not using AI. Apparently, that's what they're saying. Hang on, let me see if I can. Okay, there you go. Blueprints denies alleged usage of generative AI. Oh my god, look at all this. I can't even ad block these because they keep popping out. Okay, anyway, it's in Insider Gaming. They said generative AI usage in video games has been a hot topic for quite some time. I'll just skip ahead. However, allegations of Dogu Bomb, the creator using generative AI in Blueprints, appeared out of nowhere. It went big when the Escapist called out the company, a since edited article. Now, the publisher and developer have spoken up about the allegations. Okay, so this is what they've said. For people that need confirmation, I'll open that up in X. For people that need confirmation, there is no AI used in Blueprints. Okay, the game was built and crafted with full human instinct by Tonda Ross and his team. It is the result of 8 years of development fueled by imagination and creativity, and we are extremely proud of what Tonda has achieved. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have played Blueprints. I think it's a fantastic game. Um, Even if they have used AI, there's no way to confirm that anymore anyway. So we just have to take their word for it. But my point is, it is possible at some point they might have used AI in some way. Maybe it might not have been like some sort of a generative AI, like a texture or whatever, placeholder texture. It could have been that, but if they say no, then we just have to believe it. It's not like there's gonna be you can do an investigation and figure it out. Like no one's gonna do that, right? It's not that important to do that. But this is my point. The point is, like, it is okay to use a little bit of AI during development as long as it's not some AI slop, AI garbage that is purely driven by just AI. Like this game that I talked about in my last stream, if you guys remember. Do you remember Codex Mortis? That was interesting, wasn't it? Okay, hang on. Ooh. Let me mute that. So the one I'm talking about is this. Okay, this game called Codex Mortis. This is actually available for you to play right now for free. A demo is available. They are claiming that this is 100% AI driven development. They're not like blatantly calling it out as is. And it looks like that too. It just looks like some like AI garbage slop. Look at that. Look at that. This is all apparently made completely by AI. Does it look shit? Yeah, I think so. And they even released a completely fully AI made trailer that looks shit too. This is what it looks like. Look at it. You can tell that it is AI, bro. Yeah. So they are very open about the use of AI, and it's apparently 100% AI. But that's my point. This is what you get with 100% AI, apparently, and it is very shit. And I don't know, man. I don't know. So anyway, my point is, oh wait, hang on. There's some gameplay here. There you go. This is some gameplay. You can see this part, right? Yeah, this. I don't know what to think about this. Hey Ava, thanks for the follow. How are you doing? We're just looking at some AI slope over here. But yeah, Codex Mortix apparently is a completely AI-driven game, and I guess it looks like an AI-driven game too. It looks pretty shit to me. It's so busy, doesn't make any sense. But my point is, this is what you get if you're using complete AI-driven. And I don't think AI is advanced enough to be making like comprehensive, like complete logic games. I just don't think we're there yet. My stream is going very well. Thank you very much. But yeah, but blueprints. I don't think they used a lot of AI, but they could have. They could have definitely used AI, and I just think it's fine. It's fine that they did that. It's not a huge issue, not at all. Uh, but yeah, it's just dumb to me that people are making it be a huge issue like this, especially with indie game awards. Because I would think anything then like I think like especially when indie games considered, they would allow a little bit of that because you're talking about indie games here, small teams. If AI is going to help them, streamline their process and make it more efficient, why not? Why not let them use it? It only helps help the teams. So yeah, I don't get it. I do not stream daily, but I do a couple of days a week. I'm from Melbourne. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's going on with the indie awards, unfortunately. But I think on the back of this, there's a whole lot of other games also coming under fire as well. Like even like I think Battlefield also got called out recently. There was a whole article on Insider Gaming about specifically about that, which I thought was really funny. Um, Let me look. I'm looking at it right now. Here we go. This is Battlefield 6 under fire for suspected AI art in new bundle. So apparently, uh, this bundle cosmet. It's a okay. Where is it? Yeah, it's this. They're looking at this going. Um, yeah, this definitely looks AI generated. It's because like it has a double barrel in the gun, and that doesn't look right because this gun shouldn't have double barrels. Yeah, I can see that they might have used AI for this. They might have used AI for this. I can see that. But is that a huge deal? It's a sticker that you get for free or something, or like a bundle. Is that a huge deal? I don't know. I don't know. Uh, yeah, it's yeah, it's really weird. Like people get so triggered by this whole thing, and I just don't think um it should. I don't know whether it's a big deal as they make it out to be. When it comes to this paid cosmetics, I would say like yeah, okay, maybe chill a little bit with the AI, but when it comes to just a little bit of a use with that, I just don't think you need to get triggered so much. Like Call of Duty has been called out so many times at this point for using AI. They use the AI on their calling cards, cosmetics, everything. So I don't think this is gonna go away. I think developers are still gonna continue to use AI. AI is gonna be very much a part of games. I mean, we're just gonna have to embrace it and get used to it. It's just not gonna go anywhere. It just won't go anywhere at all, and it's the reality. Uh, yes, I do play games. I play a lot of Battlefield. A lot of Battlefield. These days, I'm playing Where Winds Meet. I love Where Winds Meet, but I'm struggling to find the time to actually commit to both games because I got my squad mates relying on me to um, revive them and take on the tanks. So I had to be there for them. And in fact, I'm gonna finish up this stream quickly and jump into Battlefield. But then I had to spend the rest of the time making my YouTube video content. So and yeah, that leaves me very little time to actually focus on Where Winds Meet. So which means I end up playing that late into the night most of the time. So yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm playing right now. I am from Melbourne. I'm from Melbourne. If you're wondering why the hell do I sound the way I do, that's because I'm Sri Lankan. Um, but I came here as a kid when I was 14. I grew up here, so that's why I've got a bit of a um, like a weird sort of hybrid accent. If you're wondering, it's not completely Sri Lankan. It's not completely Australian. It's a weird thing that I have. It's a J accent. J. It's my own accent, so that's why I sound like this. Anyway, um, Melbourne is a nice place. Yeah, it is really nice, and it is actually. It's supposed to be cold here. It's summer over here, but yeah, it's supposed to be hot over here, but it's cold today. That's why I'm wearing a jumper, a hoodie. Um, I guess which is nice because we have a cold Christmas. I guess for the first time, as far as I can remember, I haven't. I don't think I've had a cold Christmas in Melbourne ever. So this is kind of a surprise. 20 years I've been here. This is kind of a surprise for me. So yeah. Anyway, we got a cold Christmas down here in Melbourne today. Today and tomorrow it's gonna be cold too. But otherwise it's supposed to be very hot. We had like 37-degree weather just like a couple of days ago, and now today it's like 17. So I guess it's nice. Yeah. Anyway, anywho, um, plan for Christmas. Oh my God, I don't know. I actually don't have a lot of plans for the Christmas this year. Usually I will be out with the family, getting together with the family, which is still happening. We might be usually go out somewhere, but this year we're just gonna chill a little bit at home, have a bit of a staycation, have a Christmas dinner, just have the family and play some card games, get drunk. That's it, man. That's it. Nothing over the top. Nothing over the top. How about you? I hope you have a lot of plans and plan to enjoy Christmas as well. It is Christmas Eve already here. It's 8 o'clock, so people probably getting ready for the big day. Sure, why not? All right. Let's move on to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is okay. I got two things that I want to talk about today. This is this is kind of weird, but hang on. Let me just open it up. Oh yeah, that's been suggested. That's been suggested to me. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm not a full-time streamer, so I just stick to just the bare bones of it for now. Um, but yeah, I'll deal with that later. The Discord information is on my profile if you want to go check it out. Thank you, please, very much. But yeah, moving on. I don't know if you guys remember, but we talked about how ex Microsoft had set themselves like a pretty hefty profit margin for their Xbox game, and it was something like, sorry, it was something like 30% or something. It was a huge margin, okay, and I remember talking about it like a few months back when the whole Xbox Game Pass drama was going down, and they um, there were claims about how they had set up like huge margin into their Xbox division, and it actually sounded pretty insane, pretty insane. I'm trying to find that article here. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Microsoft Xbox. Let's see. 30%. I'm trying to find it. Oh, there you go. This is it. There you go. This is it. This is it. Yeah, we'll do it. But thank you. So this is the report. This is from CNBC, and in the report they were saying the company reportedly asked its gaming division in 2023 to target profit margins of 30%, according to Bloomberg, which cited people familiar with the matter. The goal was significant jump from 12% of profit margin Xbox reached in 2022. So from a business perspective, 12% makes total sense. 30% makes absolutely no sense, as revealed in court documents and well above the average video game industry standard of 17 to 22, analysts told Bloomberg. Yeah, so having 30% margin is absolutely bonkers. So that's why they have come out and debunked these claims that it has told its gaming division Xbox that it must target 30% profit margin, which is interesting. When we were talking about that, I actually said like having a 30% profit margin is like absolutely nuts, absolutely nuts. So it made absolutely no sense to do that. Hey Eva, as I'm in the middle of a stream, I appreciate if you wait until I'm done, because I'm not gonna like send it to you now, obviously. But thank you. I will do it after the stream. According to here's the thing. There you go. According to Bloomberg, the target was set by Microsoft Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood, who said that the 30% target was accountability margins across the company, including Xbox. The report was subsequently backed up by other industry figures who said that they had heard similar news of the ambitious targets. 30% target is much higher than the industry standard, which averages to 17 to 22. Even I would argue that even 22 is a little bit much. Like 17% kind of makes sense. But yeah, even 22 is a bit much. So 30% is absolute bonkers. So in response to this rumor, Microsoft has reportedly told its CNBC that while the company does set ambitious goals, the reported 30% profit margin target was actually incorrect. Makes sense. I'm glad they debunked it. I mean, the fact that this was even like mentioned, kind of it feels weird, but anyway, Xbox did have a pretty tough year with like thousands of jobs impacted, and like they had a number of projects cancelled as well, including The Perfect Dark by the initiative. Ironically, the lead devs from the initiative went on to make a new studio on the 2K, now working on a new game. They had like Everwild, ZeniMax new MMO that was cancelled. It was codenamed Blackbird or something, and they had such a tough year. They even announced that they're not going to do the Xbox Wrapped this year due to budget constraints. So yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking a multi-billion-dollar company is having budget constraints. Yeah, dude, I think like we have a false picture as to how these divisions operate. I think Xbox itself pretty much operates as its own entity separate from Microsoft, even though it has Microsoft legal backings. I think the divisions are operating at like a pretty like separate as separate entities, so they have their own budgets. They're not shared. So obviously, like if Xbox is not making enough sales and if they're not making a profit, that's gonna cut into their budgets. And no matter how well Microsoft is doing, and they're not gonna share their profit with Xbox, obviously not, because they're two separate entities, legal entities. So kind of makes sense. And Xbox have been, I don't know what the hell they've been doing. They've been, I feel like they've been making like batshit crazy decisions all throughout the year, starting with Xbox Game Pass price hikes, and seemingly abandoning Xbox with price, putting the price up with the consoles twice, I think. And they even put the prices up for developer kits as well, which is absolutely nuts, I think. Because like think about it for a bit. Um, Windows Defender is processor killer. Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is true. Uh, but yeah, it's absolutely nuts what they've done. Like, I mean, I can kind of justify they having to put the console prices up, which is still nuts. But you now charging people who actually want to develop games for your console higher prices for the development kit too, which I don't get that. I don't get the justification behind that decision. Like especially if you're like an indie gamer and you're hoping to get your game on Xbox Store and trying to port your game into Xbox. Now you have to pay something like what was it, $2,000 or $2,500 US dollars for the development kit, and it's up by like, and it used to be 1,500 or something, like pretty cheap, like $500 cheaper or something. So pretty nuts. So they've had so many number of weird decisions made throughout the year. And now they're facing RAM shortages, which also probably means they're going to put the prices of the consoles up again, maybe, because apparently they don't have stock, so they're going to have to buy the RAM at higher price, which is a very different scenario for PS5. By the way, PS5 already stocked up on RAM apparently, so they have stock to last for another year or two, which means they're going to try to keep their console prices the same. So yeah, I don't know what Xbox is doing. It's yeah, it's weird. It's really, really, really weird what they're going through right now. Yeah. Anyway, uh, as we're wrapping up 2025, that's where we at. I think effectively Xbox is going to be a thing of the past eventually, and I think everyone's gonna either stick to a PlayStation, or what's that next? What's that new game console that's been popping out that's been outselling Xbox already? Next Playground or something it's called. Yeah, it's called Next Playground, I think. Next Playground. Yeah, so apparently this thing has been outselling. This thing has been outselling Xbox this year. Can you believe that? Can you believe this little box? I think it goes for like $250 US dollars, and this is outselling Xbox. You know, dude, RAM shortages is, I think it's a very artificially created scarcity right now, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because we have very limited number of companies making RAM, and now one of them has sworn off selling RAM to consumers, which is very annoying. And yeah, like I have talked about, like we have talked about this extensively in previous teams, and I have mentioned like the whole AI problem, the AI data centers, loading up on RAMs now, which is also contributing to this. Now, companies exclusively selling RAM to these AI companies means less for people like you and I to actually be able to buy RAM, and also other companies who use them in their consumer electronics like Sony and Xbox and whatever else. It's a artificially created scarcity for sure. Um, but having said that, why don't people, you know, make companies and jump into creating RAM and make that go away? It's because it's not as easy as you think. Like to build a plant that make RAM, that you're looking at least like almost like a decade worth of development of a plant that is suitable to make RAM. Making RAM is not easy, and it is a very, very complicated process. So this is the reason why we don't have a lot of companies actually, dipping their toes into this, but which unfortunately leaves us with a situation like this, which is artificially created scarcity. I don't know when it'll go away. It's probably going to get worse. And we're probably going to end up having to pay so much for RAM. And it's absolutely nuts. Same with storage. But yeah, at this moment, it's really hard to tell where it's going. It's very hard to tell where it's going. Like, it could lead to people not buying into it so much to the point that the scarcity goes away and then the prices eventually drop and things go back to normal. Don't know. Don't know how long it'll take to happen. I don't know whether it will happen that exact same way. Like I know business, but I don't have enough of a analytical expertise in the current trends to comment on that. So I don't really know, but it could go either way. But if people, I mean, even with the recession and the bad economic state the entire globe is currently seems to be in, people are also much more conscious about their spending as well. So this is what led to the whole nightmare in November with console sales, the consoles not being uh, getting enough sales, and it's been, I think it's the worst it's been since 1995, which is nuts. It's been that long. Like you have to go as far back as 30 years before even PlayStation 1 was a thing to see this many bad sales, which is nuts. That's all because of the bad economy, people being more conscious about spending, having less expendable income, having less disposable income to actually spend on stuff. So they are thinking twice about optional upgrades and stuff like that. So um, that's continue to be the theme going into 2026, I believe, and that might probably lead to prices of RAM going down because people just not buying. Because people don't need to. Most people probably gonna stay away from, spending double, triple, even four times as much as the original price for these, for RAM and storage, and stay away and make do with whatever they've got, which will eventually force sellers and the manufacturers to bring down the price in order to sell them. So either that or the whole industry is going to go into a collapse because of the increase in prices. We don't know. It could go either way. But it is a very interesting situation. It's very interesting that it's gone down that path. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. Moving on out of this depressing stuff that we're talking about here. Something fun that I wanted to talk about was Hogwarts Legacy 2. Hogwarts Legacy 2 is something we already know is coming. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. It would be very foolish of WB Games, or should we call it Netflix Games, to ignore the success of the first game, Hogwarts Legacy, and not make a second game, right? So I think they're working on it actively right now, which is um, very interesting, very interesting. And the something that I have, well, when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy 2, I'm expecting like more of Hogwarts, a different story, maybe more ground to cover, different, like more expanded areas, maybe. That's what I'm expecting with Hogwarts Legacy 2. Uh, but, but, according to a new job listing, yes, another job listing, I know. We always seem to find tidbits of this information about upcoming games because of some job listing or someone who got hired, putting up like, you know, extra information on their LinkedIn profile, and we always find them, which is nuts. But yeah, this is another job listing uh, uh, posted by Warner Brothers, actually, Warner Brothers Discovery on their website. It's suggesting that they might be looking for developers that could be working on a proper online multiplayer infrastructure for Hogwarts Legacy 2. Yeah, multiplayer on Hogwarts Legacy 2, which could be either bad, like really, really bad, or actually like a good addition. We don't know how it'll go, but yeah, the only thing we know so far is that the game is in production, and yeah, we don't really know anything about it at the moment. Um, but it's this listing. Hang on, I'll show you. This is the listing. I don't know if you can see it. It's looking for a senior software engineer, and according to what it says here, where did you say? Behind WBD's vast portfolio of iconic content and beloved brands are the storytellers bringing our characters to life, the creators bringing them to your living rooms, dreamers, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. So it's just selling themselves, explaining. Avalanche. Okay, so it's specifically Avalanche, which is the studio behind Hogwarts Legacy, located down in Salt Lake City, nestled against the backdrop of beautiful Wasatch Mountains. Keep going, keep going. Okay. Join the team behind blockbuster open world action RPG Hogwarts Legacy as we create what's next. Okay, there's your proof. Okay, here's a job. Okay. Join our team of talented industry veterans working on a new online multiplayer RPG. This person will work closely with project engineering, art, and design leadership to architect and implement the backend infrastructure for an online multiplayer RPG. That's what it says. Okay, it doesn't specifically say that it is Hogwarts Legacy 2 though. It just says that they will be joining the team behind the RPG Hogwarts Legacy as they create what's next. It doesn't intentionally, I think, doesn't specifically say what's next for Hogwarts Legacy or what's next for Avalanche Games Studio. But it just says online multiplayer RPG. But that to me is very specifically suggesting that it is probably going to be tied to Hogwarts Legacy, which is an RPG, and it's Avalanche Studios. So what else would they be working on? They prior to Hogwarts Legacy, they worked on like Disney games, like Cars or something, and the Disney Infinity games or something. That's what they worked on. This was their big budget first debut RPG game, and it actually took off well. So obviously, they're going to be tasked with making the next Hogwarts game. But it's not a surprise that WB Games are forcing them to make it a multiplayer, which is in a way deeply concerning because we already know what happened to games when studios and developers that are really, really good at making like narrative driven games with like vast detailed open worlds are forced into making online multiplayer slop, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, right? I hope you know because yeah, yeah, I'm talking
All right,
about.
here we go.
Oh, hang on. Oops, sorry. I'm talking about Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. Obviously. Like, this game was such a slop. And I couldn't believe that this came out the way it did by a video game company that made the best Batman Arkham, like, best Batman games ever made, you know? Ever made. Sri Lanka has natural resources for cheap manufacturing, just need more investment. You know, dude, I actually believe that. I do believe that. I think I think with proper investment anything can happen, but is it going to pan out the way it does? I don't know. I think eventually, like, with the with the way things are going, if it comes to that, it becomes to a point where things get pretty dire, where competition is needed in RAM manufacturing space, and also, like, things become so bad to the point that you just, like, people just gonna need more RAM manufactured, like, to meet the demand, um, you know have more supply to meet the demand. Then yeah, I think this could be a reality even for Sri Lanka or any other place, with proper investment. People definitely think about it, because there's not enough supply, and if there's still consistent demand, continue even with higher prices, that means there's money to be had. So someone will jump in and seize that opportunity if that becomes the case. But right now, people are very conscious and very cautious about that situation, because the reality is RAM manufacturing is a huge take. It's a huge take. It's a it's a it's a long, risky commitment, and if you don't end up getting um, the demand matching the supply, it could all go to shit. So people are gonna, you know, you just have to wait and see for that kind of investment. So yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, this is this is um, this is made by Rocksteady, who made Batman Arkham games, and I couldn't believe that this is the kind of slop that they came up with. But upon looking further into, like, the development and, like, what really went on in the studios, it became a little bit more apparent that Rocksteady may have been forced into making this game online multiplayer shooter, in order to, in order to make it a kind of a cash cow for WB. And that's not a far-fetched opinion or anything, because around the same time when this was coming, a lot of the companies, including Sony, and everyone was trying to get in on the multiplayer hero shooter, um, try to, make their own version of, like, Hell Divers or Overwatch or whatever, like, online. Like, if you have, like, a successful online shooter, it becomes an instant cash cow for at least a decade. Like, think Destiny. Bungie lucked out with Destiny and Destiny 2. It became such a huge phenomenal shooter. It became Bungie's cash cow for the better part of the decade, or even more so. Um, and now even Bungie is trying to recreate that with Marathon. Marathon is not going that well, to be honest. I don't know if they can capture the magic of Destiny 2 with Marathon. But that's exactly my point. It is not easy to come up with an online shooter and just have an instant cash cow on your hands, because there are the competition for shooters is so tough now, and there are so many out there as well. You are essentially requesting the attention of people who are already playing those kind of games, a portion of their attention towards your new game. And that's not gonna, if you don't do a stellar job, it's not gonna stick. It's just not gonna stick. So that's where we at. And this was just such a slop. I just couldn't believe. And the main reason, as I see it, again, this is my opinion. You could have a different one. As I see it, it's probably because Rocksteady was good at making really good open world and really good stories. That's why even with this game, the story isn't that bad. It's just the gameplay loop is really shit because of the whole online thing. It feels like they worked on the world building, the story, and like even the gunplay and everything really well. It feels good. Like the gameplay actually feels good. The melee combat feels like a Batman game, obviously because it's Rocksteady. It feels satisfying, but the core gameplay loop is so unsatisfying. It's just repeated slop. You just keep doing the same shit again and again and again because that's just how it's set up because of the whole multiplayer thing, and that's what you have to do in order to progress. So it's really sad to see that. Obviously, because that's not what they have done up until this point. That's not where their expertise is, and they're just forced to make this, and they couldn't deliver on it. Makes sense. Avalanche, I feel like a similar, might be in a similar situation with having to make Hogwarts Legacy 2 a multiplayer game, and that's where my concern is. Hogwarts Legacy being, um, hang on, yeah, Hogwarts Legacy being, you know, hang on, I'm trying to have a gameplay video, not T Martin in my stream. Let me find some gameplay video of. There you go. I think this might be. Just put the intro, so you guys don't see. Yeah. Anyway, so having to make a game like this a multiplayer game might end up being a problematic for the studio, because Avalanche Studio have proven already they're really good at world building, making RPGs, uh, like a really good, like true to the source material world in with Hogwarts Legacy, and they did a fantastic job. But none of the game involved any multiplayer components. It's a completely new venture for the studio to go down that path for this game, especially considered how the first game even flowed. It had no multiplayer component. I feel like the only component in the game that could have had any sort of multiplayer would have been Quidditch, but then that became like a separate release, like a multiplayer Quidditch game, which I realize isn't made by Avalanche, but still, that even flopped. It didn't even do that well. It released for free on PlayStation and it still didn't do well. So that I keep driving this point home. It's just not going to be easy for them to expect making Hogwarts multiplayer and think that they're going to be able to replicate or even do better than the first game. Just because it's an RPG and make it a multiplayer, you're not going to get people playing the game, because that's what essentially Suicide Squad was. It was kind of an RPG. You still had a story to play through, but it was multiplayer, and it was so shit. So yeah, it doesn't matter. What people want is a single player narrative driven experience, especially when it comes to games like this. That's what we expected from Suicide Squad when they first announced it as well, but then that ended up being a multiplayer. So yeah, so I don't know what they will go. They need to have more story depth. Yeah, the story was pretty okay, but I think the hype was so real for like a proper Harry Potter game when this game came out, because apart from like the movie tie-in games that we got back in the day, we actually haven't got a solid open world like adventure game like this before. So I think people kind of gave it a pass about when it came to the story itself, because like being able to explore Hogwarts and the surrounding ground, that was like fantastic. I think it was the same for me as well. Like when it came to the story, it wasn't that memorable for me either. Like I was like, yeah, okay, story's fine, whatever. But the most fun I've ever had was just exploring Hogwarts and finding like every bit of little things in the nooks and crannies of it, and just flying around and in your broomstick everywhere. It was just a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun. I just spent hours just doing that, and the combat was pretty solid as well. Like you, I don't know. I don't know if you understand how hard it is to actually get something like combat in a game like this, because what you're looking at is essentially dueling with a little wood stick in your hand. That's what it is. Essentially, that's what it is. You got your magic stick that you're waving, and it's dispelling spells, and that's your combat. How do you make it varied enough and have enough depth to it so you have a sense of progression with it, and also cover the lore with it? You got, like, very specific spells that are tied into the story of Harry Potter that you need to draw from, like Expelliarmus and all that, and the the death curse itself as well. How do you use that, right? Like, because in the game, sorry, in the stories, the the Avada Kedavra curse, the death curse, is such a rare use. Like, you just don't use it. But it would be weird to not be able to use that in the game. So how do you include that in the game and also make it just sparse enough that it kind of makes sense? Like, how do you find that balance in combat, and how do you make it feel good? Because just being able to wave your wand at people and dispelling spells, it's not going to be enough if it doesn't feel good. So how do you find a balance in all that? And that was a very hard task. In previous games, they couldn't achieve that. I think that was the success for this game. They actually nailed the combat, and it felt really satisfying. It actually worked somehow, and they found the formula for combat system using magic somehow, and that was the highlight for me, actually. Um, so yeah, I think they just need to build up on that, and then, like you said, improve on the story a little bit, have more depth to that, have more depth to the world itself as well, and I think that would be really, really fun. I just don't think multiplayer is required for this game. So this is deeply concerning for me at this point, that this is the route they're going. I hope they, even if they do include multiplayer, it's probably like that. It's like a almost separate component to it, and hopefully that you can still play the game as as a single player experience. That's what I hope. But I don't know. I don't know. It's WB Games, man. Like, you just don't know what they're gonna do. They're forcing Avalanche to do this, and it's not like they can say no. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It's a it's a concerning situation. It's a very concerning situation. So yeah, that's unfortunately where we at. I think GTA 6 delay is not just because of the need to make game, but also include business partners' intentions, maybe. How do you mean? How do you mean, Play Buddy? As in, like, what do you think the business partners' intentions are in that case? Because I think if Rockstar had a choice when it comes to the release date for GTA 6, they absolutely would have released it this year as they intended. But I think the hype for the game is so real, and almost like overhyped at this point, and also the expectations for the game is also very, very hyped at this point. They just can't get away with releasing a game unpolished. I think that's the issue, because if I don't know if you remember, G Rockstar is no stranger to releasing games unfinished, even though their games looks fantastic. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, their last game they released, was fantastic looking, but it had a lot of issues at launch. So did GTA 5. GTA 5, when it launched, had a lot of issues, and it continued to have those issues years into the game cycle. And people don't talk about this much because those are fantastic games. So people tend to look the other way with it because those are minor bugs. They're not game breaking bugs, but bugs nonetheless, right? So I think even back when GTA 5 released, like it wasn't that hype. Like it had a hype around it, but it wasn't that hype. The hype started with GTA Online, GTA 5 Online taking off, and people like really getting into it, and like GTA 5 Online just really took off, like to an insane degree, and like it just broke all the records, and it started getting a lot of attention from all over the world, and that hype started to build up for GTA little by little because of GTA 5 Online. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 released. It was an insanely detailed game. The details of Red Dead Redemption 2 is, I think, even to this day, people like still finding things that people have missed, like people have missed this whole time. So I think that was the thing about Red Dead Redemption 2. Like the game looks fantastic for the time it came out in, and it was so detailed, and the world was itself was so detailed. The NPCs had like these dedicated routines, they had lives, like everything was fantastic, and it's unlike anything that we've ever seen, right? And even like few years later down the road, now we're in 2025, almost 2026, we still not getting games that are in the same level of production quality as Red Dead Redemption 2, right? That's where the hype's coming from, because Rockstar at this point have set themselves apart from every other game development studio, as the game development company that can make games to this level. And the hype is real with the amount of budget they have allocated for GTA 6. It's like a freaking something billion something dollars, like a huge budget. I think it's apparently the most expensive game ever made already. So 2 billion investment. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, $2 billion investment. It's a crazy amount of money. So the hype is real, and they can't afford to make any mistakes with that because of that now. So I think that's why there have been series of delays, because, and that's also the reason why they're just not releasing this on PC. They have always done that. I get that, but I think also the reason is they want to make sure that this also tied into consoles first. And part of the reason why I have mentioned this in an earlier stream, but part of the reason why they're also doing this for consoles is they know they can make a lot more money out of console sales. That's just the hard reality. And consoles also know that GTA is going to be a console purchase driver for them. This is why when this comes out next year, hopefully, you will see Sony, Xbox, both doing steep discounts on their consoles at around the same time GTA 5 comes. They will probably even have a bundle for this, 100%, and they're gonna have like a discounted bundle for GTA, with the console, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see that, because they know a lot of people gonna be buying, especially Sony at this point, because people are leaning more towards buying a PS5 compared to an Xbox. They know a lot of people going to be buying the console just to play GTA, and that's gonna be a thing, man. That's gonna be a thing. And also, Rockstar doesn't want to make any mistakes of having to focus on both PC port and the consoles, and then deal with all the shit that comes afterwards. Especially with PC, because PC is a lot more harder to cater to because of all the different specs everybody has, whereas consoles is just one spec. If you get that right, you got that down for the all the consoles, right? So less things to worry about when it comes to a console release compared to PC. So yeah, a lot of things involved, and I think that's why all the constant delays are happening, regardless of what people Obviously people are pissed about it now. People kind of borderline like running out of patience now. But I think like we can be pissed about it, we can say all these things, but the reality of the situation is no matter how like how pissed we are or how impatient we are, Rockstar is probably the only video game company in the world right now who can afford even another delay, and still people will be so hyped. The hype will be back on when the game finally releases, and it'll sell like hotcakes, and that's just the reality. That's just the reality. So you can have so much controversy around it. I mean, GTA itself is a controversial game. It has always been that, so that's not new. Regardless of all the controversy and people yelling about it, it's gonna sell like hotcakes, regardless of how many delays it faces. And the hype might go away, but it'll come back on when it comes to the release. So I think the global productivity will also take a hit when it finally comes out. A lot of people are going to be taking a week off or like a half a week off or something just to play the game. And I think you'll see a lot of people cashing on their holidays, their annual leave, to play the game, and we'll see the world productivity go down for a week or so because of that. And that's just the reality, man. And that's how hyped this game is. So I don't blame them for having to delay the game in order to get it right. But yeah, that's just that's GTA, bro. GTA 6. If they somehow stop it up, they probably won't recover from that. This is and that I think Rockstar also knows that too, because they're on cloud 9 right now with their hype status. If they lose it, that's also going to be very hard to recover from. So they know they have to make this game the best, the best they have ever done, and that's true for each time. Like next one, whatever the next game they're going to work on, Red Dead Redemption 3, that's gonna have to be better than GTA 6. And I mean, they're so good. They kind of setting themselves up for this. So yeah, they are in the business of topping themselves up each time they have a release. They can't back out of it now. So yeah, man. Anyway, that's where we at. That's where we at. I'm gonna wrap up the stream today. I'm gonna be jumping into Battlefield 6 right after this, so I'll be doing a separate stream if you wanna tune into that. I won't be on YouTube for the stream. I'll be doing it on Twitch and Kick if you wanna join me there with my full squad. I've got a full squad waiting to get down to business there. So I highly urge you to check it out. We get into all kind of funny business. It will be fun, and I will probably see you after Christmas. I'm gonna do one more stream for this year, where we'll be talking about the best picks for this year, best pick of the best game picks for this year, and we're going to be talking about the most anticipated games for next year. It'll be fun. So join on my next stream on Saturday. Songs of Kings on Steam. No, I haven't. Is it out yet? Is it out yet? I don't think it's out yet. Is it out? I thought I thought it wasn't out yet. It's on my wish list. Yeah, it's not out yet. It's got a planned release date of 2026, but it's not out yet. But when it's out, I'm definitely going to be playing that on my stream. 100%. 100%, dude. That, and I don't know if you saw my stream, but there's another game called Journey Through the Undead. That's also being developed by a small indie team in Sri Lanka. So if you haven't checked it out, check my video out on my YouTube channel. I think it's really fun. It's just a zombie shooter. It's really fun. It's very rougher on the edges, so the developers still have a long way to go. But it's still, I think it should be commended and supported, because it's just the two people making the game, just two people, and they got a lot of big goals and big ambitions, and we should support them. So go and check it out, and there's a demo available. You can check it out as well. It's called Journey Through the Undead. So check it out. Hang on. Journey Through the Undead. If you are wondering what I'm talking about. Hang on. This is what I'm talking about. This game, Journey Through the Undead. This is by Dazzling Divine. 2-person indie team from Sri Lanka. But yeah, I'll definitely be playing Song of Kings when it comes out. But anyway, I'll see you on Saturday, unless I don't see you on my Battlefield streams today. Up until then, have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your time. Life is short, you know. R.I.P. Vince Zampella. Really short life lived, and such a legendary dude we lost so soon. If you can see, this is nominee Game of the Year 2026. Yeah, man, that's I think it might have a chance to be nominated for the best indie game. Hopefully, I mean, it looks really nice. I just have to play it and see like how fun it is to actually play. It looks really nice though. It looks really nice. So I hope they're cooking something. I'm really hoping. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Saturday stream. Up until then, enjoy your time. Enjoy your time. And have a very, very good Christmas or whatever, or Hanukkah. Enjoy your holidays, whatever the holiday you celebrate. I'll see you guys on Saturday. And yeah, join me on my Battlefield stream tonight. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Thanks, Play Buddy. Thanks for joining me. Life is short. Hugs and kisses, bro.
Alright, try the paradigm. The underdog's walking off. Baby! Thanks for hanging out for laughs, memes, and gaming clout. Even if I tripped, lost, or failed, you stuck around and that prevailed. We checked trailers, spilled the tea, mispronounced a game or three. Call of Duty fails, oh that's me, but the chat laughed along, pure victory. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Grab your snacks, hydrate up, don't fall asleep. I'll be back soon with news to peep. The underdog may stumble, trip, or rage, but you're the legends who fill my stage. Attention check. Jaybeazt is officially signing off. He may try to explain the plot of a game he hasn't played, argue with NPCs about story choices, or get stuck in the tutorial forever. And if someone says something wild in chat, he might go, "Oh mate, don't say that!" Thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time, same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe. But thanks for surviving the chaos, laughing at my fails, and pretending my Call of Duty aim is fine. Catch you next time. Same underdog energy, less chaos, maybe.